My boss said no excuses for being late until she was the one caught in the VKs. My micromanaging boss implemented a zero-tolerance lateness policy with automatic pay deductions. Last week, when she was stuck in the same traffic jam as me, I followed her exact protocol on her, and suddenly the policy changed for everyone. Rebecca became our department manager 6 months ago and immediately created a documentation system for every minute an employee was late. Accountability is non-negotiable. She'd remind us in weekly meetings while displaying a created slide of everyone's punctuality metrics. Even 1 minute late meant a 15-minute pay deduction and a punctuality counseling meeting where she'd make you explain in writing why you couldn't stack company time. 3 minutes late, 30-minute deduction, 5 or more half your day's pay gone. Traffic is not a valid excuse, she announced after Emma from accounting tried explaining a major highway accident. Professionals plan for contingencies. Leave earlier tomorrow. We all started riding 30 to 45 minutes early just to avoid her wrath, essentially working unpaid time every morning. When Jake from marketing suggested that extremely early arrival should count as overtime, Rebecca implemented a new rule. The building wouldn't open until exactly 8:45 a.m. for our 9 a.m. start. Last Thursday, a chemical spill shut down the main highway into downtown. My normal 25-minute commute stretched to 90 minutes. At 8:52 a.m., still crawling through detour traffic, I spotted a familiar Quassa frantically weaving between lanes. Rebecca looking panicked. We both pulled into the parking garage at 9:17 a.m. When I stepped out of my car, she was already speed walking toward the elevator, pretending not to see me. "Good morning, Rebecca," I called, cheerfully matching her pace. "Terrible traffic today. Absolute nightmare," she muttered, jabbing the elevator button. "Obviously today is an exception to the policy." "Oh, which policy exception covers traffic incidents? I want to make sure I document this correctly on the late arrival form." She frowned. "We don't need forms today. It was unavoidable, actually," I said, pulling out my phone. "According to the employee handbook you revised, page 12, paragraph 3. No exceptions will be made for traffic incidents as professionals plan adequate travel plan for contingency." The elevator arrived. Inside, I continued, "And as today's designated floor supervisor during your absence, I am required to document all late arrivals, including management. Would you like me to email you the standard form, or would you prefer I print it for our 9:30 punctuality counseling meeting?" Her face cycled through shock, anger, and finally, reluctant recognition. "I suppose we could revisit the policy," she said quietly as the doors opened. By afternoon, a new email arrived. Defect immediately. The punctuality policy has been updated to allow free grace periods per month for unforeseen circumstances. At the next team meeting, Rebecca avoided all eye contact with me while announcing that after careful consideration, she realized rigid policies don't account for real-world complexities. Yesterday, Emma was 7 minutes late because her toddler got sick at daycare drop-off. Instead of a deduction, Rebecca simply said, "Family comes first. I hope he feels better." Sometimes the quickest way to change an unreasonable rule is to make sure it applies to the person who created it.